Hi, welcome to Lathe and Loom. Welcome. My name is Cher. Thanks so much for stopping by the channel. Pretty standard knitting podcast format today. I had an unexpected couple week break. Sorry for that. I was doing so great with my weekly uploads and travel schedules just kind of got, anyway, a little bit crazy. But today, see, I've got two finished objects, a half finished object. I'll update you on a couple of works in progress. And then I'll talk to you a little bit about how I'm getting through my, I guess, I'm ready to get past summer, not so much summer knitting, but summer yarn knitting, and how I'm working through that. So let's get started. So my first finished object today, I've got the Lusk Tee. This is a pattern by Clow of the Crebe. I've talked about it pretty extensively in several episodes. So I'll give you a little close-up. I did intend to wear this today, put on something I could easily show, and then put my hair up and realize I couldn't get it over my head. The neckline's quite tight, but it works well for the shirt. This is turned out to be very fitted. You might remember I had a little issue with the tension. So the gauge on this is 17 stitches to 4 inches. I feel like I was closer, maybe 20 or so, 19, and at the recommended US 7 needle. Sorry, I don't remember my conversion. And I didn't really want to go up because you can see it's already fairly, drapey fabric. I mean, you can't see through it, but I didn't really want it to be bigger gauge. And, but as usual, as I really knit it, my gauge when I finished blocking, and I kind of pull it out to get the dimension, was more like 22. So quite a bit tighter. So it's, even though it's a size 5, it's fairly fitted. I'm really happy with it though. It's a nice fit. I do really like the drop spell yarn. The only thing I don't like about it, it's very hard to disguise where you've woven in the ends, and maybe I'll take this off. Y'all may remember this has a million ends to weave in. I mean, I think the stripes are just a little bit wide to so they're all woven in though. They're just everywhere. The stripes are a little wide. I was afraid to carry it up, particularly with a yarn that didn't really have any stretch. But I am happy with the overall fit and look. I would like to knit it again in wool with long sleeves. Here's my rule. I just don't think I'm going to knit any striped summer yarns, although, unfortunately it's so iconic, right? Really like the back line here. Looks good. The only thing I don't like is this here, where I just had that one row, and it just, when I went to pick it up, I don't love it. I picked up the neckline, I think 4 times, and like I said, it's still quite tight. I did do the lateral braid detail on there. I'm not sure if that will show through, but yeah, so happy about that. That one is finished, and then I'll update you on the other 2, or my last 2 summer whips in progress. So that is the Lusk Tee by Clow. My other finished object, almost finished, it's not blocked yet, is the Hap Baby Blanket, and this is a hybrid knit. So I think this is fun. I think this is exactly what I had hoped, that maybe when it's not a baby blanket anymore, the parents can wear it as or use it as a shawl. So I'll stand up a little bit. So I did the center of this on the knitting machine. And then I've hand knit the border, which is taken from Gudren Johnston's Hansel Hap. So I have the Hap rack out in the garage to stretch it out. So I will be soaking that and we'll get it all stretched out. So that should, I used the Icelandic bind off, which is what she recommended if you didn't do the lace edging. It's stretch, I tried to make it as stretchy as possible. So I'm hoping I've got the edge enough that I can, you know, really stretch the lace out nicely. So I'm excited to get that blocked and get it wrapped and to the recipients. It is kind of diamond shaped. You can probably see that as I'm fiddling with it. But I think it worked out fine. That long way, this is the short way, and then the long way will allow it to be worn easily as a shawl. So it ended up kind of working out nicely there. That was Sadie. Sorry. Sadie, are you okay? Oh, it's dinner time, so there we go. Maybe I'll take a quick break and take care of that. And we're back. So the Hap shawl is knit with Stroll tweed fingering. This is Knit Picks. And I haven't finished all the final weights, but all the detail will be in my Ravelry project page. It's a good time to remind you, I do pretty extensive show notes. So anything I forget to mention or skipped over in detail is either probably in a past episode or in the show notes and or on my Ravelry project page. So it's always a good reference there. I try to list if I talk about resources or shops or anything like that as well. I have a half finished object, which is the first of a pair of socks. This was actually, I believe, Sock Week yarn. Do I have the tag? It's from, it's a German, somebody Mendez. I'll put it below. I'm not remembering. And I really like the yarn. I don't know why I don't have the ball band in here. And I believe it was a Sock Week pattern like 2 years ago. Anyway, self-drafted socks. I did 20 rounds for the cuff. I did add this little rib detail in here just because I wanted a little bit taller sock than I usually knit. But toe up, Turkish cast on, shadow wrap, short row heel, 60 rounds for the foot and the leg, and then the higher cuffs. So the other one is about 20 rounds from the cuff. I started knitting these when we went to Switzerland last year. I'm not very great about socks unless I don't have something else going on, which is hardly ever. So I have several pairs that I need to kind of make myself start working through them. So that is all of my finished objects. So on to works in progress. This is my Sabai top number 2. I am knitting it with Viking Garn Bamboo. You may sit, but lay down. Down. Now she's going to pant. Hopefully that won't last long. I'll try to get through the next 2 and then take care of that. Let's see. So here's the Sabai top number 2. Got a hanger here. And this is the version without the ribbing. Not quite done, but I'm getting there. So it's kind of blown out a little bit. Let's see. It's much greener. Maybe no. It's a bright green. It's pretty. So I'm loosely basing the length on. I really like the length of my Camden Camisole. I haven't shown this in a while. This is a pattern by the Knit Purl girl. I really, really like this one. It fits really well. And so I believe, so it's 13 inches, 7 inches from this for the armhole depth, and then 13 inches to the base. So I'm kind of using that for my other summer knit lengths, particularly from a tank version. So this is has not been blocked, but it fits really well. I did do a try on back up here, and then I just use this as a travel knit. So knit, knit, knit. Now I will say the camera probably is picking up if I've changed yarns, if I've woven in and in, like it picks up everything again. I think that's, now maybe blocking will help that a little bit, but I think it's just a property of the plant-based fibers. So, but anyway, she's getting there. So, well, maybe, hopefully, I mean, I'm within a couple inches, I think, of being done, and it's just a rolled stockinette hem. So when I'm done, I'm done. Yay! So I knit on this pretty exclusively last week. Just finishing that last ball of yarn, and I got home, and yeah, I could have just powered on and got this done. I did take, so I had this when I was in the car, or this podcast is cursed, y'all. I've sat down to film. I cannot even tell you how many times I keep getting interrupted. So I'm going to roll through and try to finish. So let's see, where was I? Oh, anyway, so I had the Sabai as just kind of like car knitting, social knitting, and then we were at our son's house, and our son and daughter-in-law to be's house, and it's always dark in the living room in that evening, so that bright color was really nice to knit on. So I had that, and then when I had a little more opportunity to focus, I brought out my Phoebe top. This is a pattern by Aimee Sher, and hadn't worked on it in a while. I actually didn't even mention it when I talked about my remaining summer projects last time. I kind of forgotten about it, but I've got it back out. Same thing. I need about 13 inches of this, so I've got, I don't know, 3 or 4 inches left still to go. But just nice ribbed cabled rather, and a tank. I really do like this yarn. This is the WoolDreamers Saona cotton wool in the colorway 1985, as I recall. So anyway, so that'll be the last one on the Sabai. I'll finish up first, and then I'll have that one. And but anyway, so I got home, and I really should have powered on with both of these, but I'd had nothing but that for a week, and you all know I'm not a very monogamous knitter. So really just kind of feel like I'm kind of done with the summer knits, and it really, at the end of the day, I think I'm not done with summer knits, is that I'm done with knitting with summer yarns. You know, it's, I think, like I said, some of them I've really liked. I really like the bamboo. As a matter of fact, I am going to start the crumpet cardigan, which is by Park Williams. A photo here. I did get the same yarn because I think that'll look nice over the Sabai top, kind of as a set, and then just have a little bit of an option to wherever, you know, tank tops or what have you. I am kind of got several cardigans in my mind to work next. And then I've got, some other, I've got a Andrea Mowry Pink Fizz that I like to do as kind of, that would be early fall knitting. So I'll talk about that, as we get to another one. But this is a long hibernating whip. So if you, I started it in October of 2021, as a matter of fact. This is in this really fun bag from the Knit Nook. Love my sheep bags. And it's really worked out nicely because it's a color work project. I've got all my little Jamieson's and Smith balls in there. So this is the Burra Cowl. It's a pattern by Marie Wallin. I started actually with, Nikki ran 2 years in a row. A year of Marie Wallin and another year of Marie Wallin knit along, I think. So I'll knit on it and then I'll do something else. I'll knit on and do something else. Just kind of, then I forget about it. But anyway, I thought, well, before I start something new, let me grab something else, and I just wanted to work with some wool a little bit. And this has been really nice. So I think yesterday I picked it up about here, and I've just really been enjoying knitting on it. I've tried, it's interesting because I've done this over such a long period. I don't know if it's coming across in the camera. When I look up close, I definitely see looser tension, tighter tension. I've tried knitting it inside out. I actually last night moved it from shorties to a 16-inch needle, and I'm enjoying that much more. It's helping me spread it out and such. I ran out of, I'm not using the exact colors. I substituted several of them for just what I had. I ran out of this kind of green, the lighter green color here. And so when I got to, I ran out I ran out in here, and it's like it was supposed to be that light green, and you can see this sort of gray green I had substituted, which is unfortunate because this is the last 2 rounds, and it was the first 2 rounds of the patterning also, and that's where I will need to graft it together. And then I found, I had substituted this one, and then I found I must have realized that, and it's not the same, but it's much closer, so I'll use that at the end, and hopefully it won't be too noticeable. And honestly, with all this patterning, is anybody going to call it out? And if they do, they're probably too close, so anyway, it'll be nice when it's done. So I'm going to just kind of cruise on this until I'm bored of it again. Be nice if I get it done. I am wondering, and I looked in the pattern, so we actually did a cast on edge here, and then she has you mattress stitching it, and I'm just thinking, why would I do that? So I don't know if I will pick up stitches from this cast on edge, or if I will try to unpick my cast on and get a row of live stitches. I would much rather Kitchener it, I think. Why would I not? It's my current thinking. Any opinions, or if you've made this, I'd love to know how you did it. My mattress stitch is marginal at best. So I just don't love the idea of doing that. I would much rather Kitchener it, graft it, using whatever we call the Kitchener now. Sorry, I keep forgetting. So anyway. So this has really been nice to sort of get me over that. I'm bored of summer knits, so hopefully I'll knit on this a while, and then, a lot of the pattern's pretty rhythmic, 3, 2, 3, 2, but then there's some that you have to watch the chart the whole time. So it's kind of a nice mix, but it's definitely not an on-the-go knit for me. So I will, anyway, continue on with that. It's been a nice change of pace. So if you're kind of in the late stretches of your summer knits and find yourself needing a little bit of a little taste of winter knitting, I would encourage you to maybe just get a colorwork accessory out and do a little knit in there. So nice to get a couple whips off too. So it's nice. That half shell's been a while in the works, so I'm glad to get that done. That's a big project. So I'm working my way through even my my older whips, which is sort of nice. I mean, I think that is a little bit of a nice thing about the summer. You know, the tanks and tees and such, they're a little bit smaller knits. Sadie in the background. A little bit smaller knits, so you can do a little variety, and then a lot of it, the ones I've had this year, have just been a lot of stockinette, so I am kind of interested in doing a few other things there. So let me see, is that all? I think that's all. I did want to show my good knitting friend June has knit was in the process when we last knit together. We do a knit and coffee every week, and was knitting slippers for her grandchildren. It's the cutest pattern. It reminds me quite a bit of the pattern that I'm using for the tea cozy. So I'll pop a couple pictures here that she said I could share, and they were delighted with the finished product, and I understand helped do the pom-poms. So super cute. And she said the pattern is super easy. You're just kind of knitting those rows across, and then you're stitching up the back and the front. So I'm not sure if there's an actual pattern. If I can find one, I will, but just kind of wanted to share that with you. And you think about getting into fall and accessory knitting, or our Southern Hemisphere folks are deep in your winter knits. So maybe looking for something cozy for the toes. And I think with that, so this is episode 50. Thank you for tuning in. I have, I think, a lot more folks that watch than are subscribed. So if you're not subscribed, or if you don't know, if you would check, that would really help the channel. And then for episode 50, I would just love if you just put a comment, put an icon, tell me what you're working on, tell me where you're watching from. Really would just like to have a good little burst of community activity. I so enjoy interacting with you all, whether it's here or on Instagram. And really thank you for getting us to 50. I'd love to get to that 500 subscriber mark. I'm still a teeny tiny little channel. So if you're not subscribed, I would love it too. If you would share, that would be great as well. But just always, again, thank you. I know some of you have been here from the very beginning and are really active participants, so thank you for that. Also, still running. We are in the last month of the, even I'm not remembering the title, I think it's Teas and Tanks Make Along. So that'll go through August. So in this episode, again, down in the comments, you don't have to be participating in the cowl, but it's great if you are. Just post either what you're working on or leave a comment. I will pick from the comments, one for episode 50 and one for the cowl. So we'll see how the comments go. I usually need to leave mine open 2 weeks before I do the drawing, so then we'll be quickly close to the close for August as well. But go ahead and we'll do that. And so I'll either do that in episode 51 or 52, kind of depending on how that schedule goes. I'm hoping to get back to my weekly update. We're still doing a little bit of travel here as the summer winds down. I think that is everything. So thanks so much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next time, and happy knitting, spinning, dyeing, and weaving. Thanks, y'all.